A big hello to you and welcome to You Were There. It's always exciting to have you join us on the program. Today's episode will give you an inside look into the hurdles that we have to cross just to bring transformation to needy communities across Africa. From the financial partners to the field volunteers, the CBN family braves the greatest odds to spread some love and happiness. Our very first piece shows you how. Countless people wake up each morning with the hope that something special will happen to them that day. On a beautiful morning in February, the people of Angwagobi are about to receive their miracle. But first, the dream makers have to cross the daunting river that stands between them and the people they plan to reach. Finally, the CBN medical team conquer the waters and arrive at the shores of Angwagobi. The excited people of Angwagobi are about to find out that miracles still happen, and more importantly, to them. Mr. Akor is the first recipient, a 60-year-old man who had given up on his poor eyesight and a life free from pain. His poor eyesight was not the only health challenge Mr. Akor had to battle. A persistent stomach pain had kept him away from his farm, and his family began to suffer. When Akor heard about CBN's visit, he knew he had to make a life-changing decision. First, Akor saw an eye care specialist who attended to all his eye needs. The surgery he needed was done at no cost to the family. Soon, Akor was back on his feet and was eager to say thank you.
Thank you, CBN, for doing this my surgery. Thank you. May God bless you.
6-year-old Joshua was next. Although he had suffered a lot of pain for 2 years, despite different attempts to bring him relief,
my son suffered for so long because I could not take him to the hospital. I had to take him to a herbalist. After a while, his condition worsened.
Suma heard that the CBN medical team was planning a medical mission in his village. He knew that was an answer to his prayers. Joshua was given prompt medical attention. The doctors knew immediately that Joshua was suffering from hernia. CBN surgeons operated on Joshua. Joshua's father, Suma, dared to hope that this time things will be different. Koam and Joshua are just 2 out of the many people that received medical help for 1 week.
We've been able to extend our love through medication to relieve them from pain, relieve them from challenge of ill health.
Most of the cases you see are the age-related cases. They will need aids to read properly. The case we've seen most is cataract cases.
For the beneficiaries, it was a dream come true.
CBN has done very, very well to bring in this medical outfit to our own place.
Now go to CBN.
Thank you, CBN.
CBN.
I can only imagine how that felt. Crossing a river in a traditional canoe, no less. Talk about braving the odds. No matter how big it seemed, it didn't stop them from reaching people like Akor, Suma, and countless others, all because someone dared to bridge the gap and make a difference. Wondering what it took to make this outreach happen? Well, the answer to that is coming up after the break. Stay with us.
From tough terrains to deep waters, bringing hope and laughter to homes and communities. Thank you, CBN partners, for helping Martha, who was almost going blind as a result of cooking over smoky fires. She had no hope for a better life until CBN gave her a pair of glasses and a brand new business. Now she can look forward to a bright future. The people of Bukinriga village are also grateful to CBN for digging a brand new water well right at the center of their village. Now, the days of lack are over. Thank you, CBN partners, for putting smiles on people's faces.
It's been awesome hearing testimonies of outreaches that you have been part of. How did this all start? What inspired you to desire to be a blessing?
I had been a member of 700 Club for over 20 years. And then, of course, the political terrain, which I now belong to, I was looking at what everybody was doing, and it looked for me like, do these people really care about people? I mean, are they just going there because of themselves? And I was tired of complaining. So I said to myself, you know what? If 700 Club has been such a blessing to others far and wide, why don't I use that contact and that connection that I have with them and take that to my community? For me, it was just like they were there, we were there together. They've been doing this. It was, I mean, they have credibility. You could see that what they've been doing, it's not fake. They're not doing it for the cameras. They're doing it because they care. So for me, that was actually the drive.
I watched the video on the medical mission to your community, and it was quite intriguing. I mean, I was looking out for you. I said, okay, I've heard so much about you, and I really want to put a face to this name. You were just down to earth, doing your thing, reaching out to the people. You were even wearing the lab coat, like you were one of the volunteers. So what motivated you to say, let's take medical mission to a community at that time?
In 2007, a lot of people were HIV positive. A lot of them had hepatitis, they didn't even know it. A lot of them were almost going blind, they have river blindness. I mean, there was just so much cases of sicknesses. And a lot of these people were living with it without even knowing it. For the ones that knew, don't have the money to go to the hospital, so they're like, let me just die, it's not a big deal. When I die, I die. So for me, it was trying to see somebody helped, trying to ensure that these people had access to free medicals, even if they couldn't afford it. It was an avenue of giving them hope, of knowing that, hey, you don't have to die because you don't have money. You can give it a push. Somebody is willing to help. And if somebody is willing to help, there are partners also who are willing to help.
During the course of the medical mission, was there anything that touched your heart the most? Something you can't forget about, something that is just in front of you?
There was a young man that was brought into the hospital. They rushed him in. He was practically brought in there almost dead. And I remember the speed in which the doctors stopped what they were doing, and everybody's hand was just on deck, you know, to try to get him, to resuscitate him and make sure he doesn't die. I remember as soon as they wheeled in him, nobody even asked any question. They just took him straight into the jail and they started trying to find out what's wrong with him, what's wrong with him. And something phenomenal that for me I can never forget was the brothers or sisters were bringing him to the hospital because it was a health center, to just come and keep him there and see what they can do. And then they walked into this free medical. Wow. It was just a coincidence that was so beautiful because the doctors just took over, resuscitated him, made sure they kept him alive, made sure that he responded to treatment, took care of him. And in 1.5 hours when I came back, I saw the guy, he was sitting up on his bed and he was eating. What if that medical mission was not there that day? We could have just lost him because the facility and what CBN brought is not available in that health clinic. So, and there's no doctor in the health clinic. So it would have just been, okay, we've done what we've done, the guy died. I can never forget that picture and the gratitude of the family once they thought about, oh, how much are we going to pay? And they were told nothing. For them, it was like, wow, it's amazing, nothing. I can never forget the look on his brother's face and all his family members. I'm sure they will never forget CBN for a long time. Because truly, you know what? You don't know that somebody went to bed and he was fed just by your little contribution. You don't know that somebody drank a cup of water and the child didn't have to walk 10 kilometers to go and look for water and be late for school because you were able to get some little money and they were able to provide a well somewhere. You don't know that somebody is almost dying, like the case I just said, and somebody, by some little contribution, has helped them. So for me, I'm thinking, wow, if a little contribution like that can touch a lot of people's life, I mean, day by day, I mean, you can't just feel anything but elated. You can't just be, I mean, it just makes me feel happy.
And I'm also excited. So finally, I know possibly there are people who are wondering and considering partnering with CBN and not knowing how to go about it. how would you want to encourage them?
There is no other word but to say that CBN is reliable. CBN is trustworthy. I mean, a lot of people have complaints. They say, oh, when we give our monies to NGOs and other people, they don't do it. I have been a partner with this CBN for over 20 years, and I can say for sure that what CBN does, you cannot quantify it in even what you're able to contribute. When you look at how many souls, how many lives have been touched, it's enormous. If you're ever looking for where you can touch the lives of people, no gainsaying, no puffness about it, just real joy and people who are just happy to go out and help, visit CBN office any day, and they will do it for you.
Thank you so much. It's been quite enlightening talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
I am so elated to be here as well. Thank you.
Now that's the story of one woman making a difference, one community at a time. Thank you, CBN partners, for your invaluable gift of love that's impacting the world every day, from the smallest communities in Africa to the biggest cities the world over. Coming up next, a quick life-saving and fulfilling trip to the Republic of Indonesia.
Siti remembers the day her 2-year-old son Adia was playing with his favorite cars, when suddenly he started to cry.
I found a lump on Adia's lower abdomen, and it was about the size of an egg. He couldn't stop crying. I couldn't help but cry too.
Siti rushed Adia to the local clinic, where she learned that he had developed a hernia. Adia's dad sells snacks at a factory in this remote village where they live. He took an extra construction job to try to save for his son's surgery, but there was no way they could afford it.
We don't have government health care here. We tried to borrow money from our neighbors, but still, there wasn't enough. I wondered where I could get that much money.
So this desperate Muslim couple looked outside their religion to an Indonesian shaman for help.
Shaman gave us some healing water for Adia to drink, but that didn't work.
Then CBN came to their village offering free operations. Siti quickly went to sign up. That same weekend, a surgeon repaired Adia's hernia. A week later, he was running and playing with his big brother.
Adia can now sleep well with no more pain. Thank you to CBN and to all the doctors. This has been the best thing that has ever happened to us.
Look how Adia's life was changed from ugly to beautiful. She now has a new story to tell, and that's thanks to you, CBN partners. You helped create that news story. There is nothing more beautiful than being a part of transforming lives. Knowing that what you do makes a difference that wouldn't happen if you weren't there. And that is what you do as a CBN partner. With a monthly gift of as low as 500 Naira or a one-time donation of any amount, you can give the change that so many people desperately need. You can feed the hungry, you can give clean water to the thirsty, you can give widows a lifeline for survival, you can give homes to the homeless, and you can bring the gospel to the unsaved. Why not contact us today and join the millions of people who make up the CBN family to change lives? Simply use the details on the screen. We'll be honored to hear from you. If you're just joining us, this is You Were There, a program that showcases the great work CBN and its partners are doing all around the world. After the break, we'll bring you the story of Miracle, whose life hung on a thin thread until something amazing happened.
I'm Ekere Ufumamowo. My family and I joined the 700 Club a couple of years ago.
My name is Dokas Akimbe, and I'm a member of 700 Club.
My name is Tona Adaba. I'm a member of 700 Club.
I'm Babatunde Oladapo. I joined the 700 Club in 2014.
I am Pastor Rabi Ibrahim. I joined 700 Club in 2007.
The need to reach the unreached with the word of God and to give potable water to rural communities and to put smiles on the faces of widows and orphans in those communities drove us to join the 700 Club.
I'm so glad I joined 700 Club, and I'm going to remain a partner because helping the less privileged is one of my passions and my drive.
I love being a member of 700 Club because I love putting smiles on people's faces.
My major motivation for joining the 700 Club is the opportunity to touch lives. Whenever I see smiles on people, it gives me satisfaction.
So many souls have been touched. The downtrodden, the wretched, hopeless became hopeful. Testimonies here and there. It's actually wonderful to be a part of Christian Broadcasting Network, more especially as a 700 Club partner.
In the village of Kaida, Nigeria, people believe that if a woman dies during childbirth, her baby is cursed. When villagers bury the mother, they kill the baby, wrap it within the burial shroud, and bury the newborn infant with the mother's lifeless corpse. Miracle's mother died during childbirth, but before he was killed, a missionary rescued him to be raised by Pastor Shola and his wife Gloria.
When we first saw Miracle, we didn't know if he would survive more than a few days. He was very sick and malnourished. That's how practically all of our children have come to us.
Over the years, Shola and Gloria took in dozens of children. They all lived together in a very small home they rented. In this home, Miracle and the other children are safe and will grow up knowing they are loved and accepted. Miracle remembers the day they moved into their new house. When the kids aren't studying, they love to play outside. We knew the soccer ball they had was old, so we gave them a new one. Many of the children here would have been killed over tribal superstitions, but thanks to Gloria and Shola and the help of Orphans Promise, these kids can live each day knowing they have a hope for the future. Each of their lives is a miracle.
Look at those beautiful smiles, full of hope for a beautiful tomorrow. Doesn't that just get you excited? I am. What a remarkable experience. Thanks to you, our partners, Miracle now has a chance at a happy and more rewarding life. Miracle is just one out of so many other children and people in need of our help. If we could do this, then we can do so much more. We'll take a short break now, and then we'll read some interesting comments from our feedback segment. Stick around.
You were there when the water flowed and the children danced for joy. You were there when the doctors came and saved their little boy. You were there to speak the truth, send the gospel near and far. You were there to change their lives right from where you are.
Thank you, CBN Partners, for making a difference around the world. Your gift of love has changed life and eternity for millions.
When hurting hearts reach out and cry, does anybody care? You were the one who brought the gift. Thank God that you were there.
Thank you for all your comments. It's such a joy to have you reach out to us. If you haven't checked out our Facebook page, you absolutely need to. But it's never before seen pictures and updates on our humanitarian work. The address is facebook.com/CBN You Were There. At this point, we have to say goodbye on this episode. But we'll be back next week with new stories of changed lives. Until then, enjoy your week as you conquer the impossible. See you soon.